Yeah, this is the kind of shit that gets me. This is in a fairly decent area, but I've seen stuff like this everywhere. You know, you have it in front of local businesses. Well, stuff that ain't even businesses, certain public places. Part of you wants to say, well, what the fuck? This is America, land of the free. What the fuck is with that? But, in the same time, it's a double-edged sword. You kind of partially understand, depending on what area you are. You know what I mean? And if you're in a city, or even if you're like in a, I don't know, something that's kind of next to a city, but it's like open sidewalk. It's not rural and it's not middle of the nowhere. But you want to say, what the fuck is with that? This is America, land of the free. That's what I thought. But part of you understands. Yeah, there's one over here too. You sort of understand in a way. Normally it's like harmless, but I don't care who you are, what color you are, if you're black or white, male or female or whatever. I mean, there was always a scenario, I don't care who it is. We all have experienced when we're walking by somewhere, people standing in numbers, some of them are harmless, but yet you hear a bunch of people heckling or yelling stuff. Well, people did it, bunches of kids. When you were a kid, a bunch of kids yell obscenities, or you can be by a business in a bar down here, a bunch of people gathering around there, they're yelling obscenities. Or if you're a girl, black or white, a male, female, you'll have people. That's why people put signs like this. And it got to a point where a lot of times if it's not like a place where you're waiting for a bus or a train, right? And maybe people look the other way. If at one time, if you're waiting for a ride or somebody from somewhere, it's better off you meet somewhere else. But then, depending on where you live, all kind of shady stuff, everything from hookery to drug dealing. Or if you don't got all that in your neighborhood, bunches of people that used to be harmless heckling. You can be a girl walking by and people are yelling all kind of things. Ooh, and perverted stuff, I mean, like whistling at women was once harmless at one time. People were younger, you know what I mean? But then you get, well, fill in the blanks, you know what I mean? What you're not allowed to say, people that are a different color as you, you're not allowed to say. You can have somebody, oh yeah, one is allowed to say that if it's a bunch of people, if you're white or whatever, there's a presumption now in a big crowd, but yet that nobody wants to talk about some of the stuff that does happen. Not that any other color is bad, you're not implying that, but if a bunch of people that happen to be another race as you, say if you're white walking by, you're not saying blacks or anybody as black is bad, but well, I had a friend that was black. He was walking through a particular city, and he was a guy I knew that, he's like, how you got the nerdy type. He was kind of like the nerdy, dorky type, hell of a nice guy. Couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. Doesn't bother anybody. And he had, walked by and a bunch of people that are same color as him, black, coming from some bar. They just went and surrounded him and didn't even brandish no weapons. And a little bit bigger, the body language, and literally went in his pockets and took everything he got. And what are you going to do about it? Walk by. So anyway, so yeah, people will play a card where you can have, whether black or white, a crowd of people loitering. Some a crowd of black, some a crowd of white. And you're not allowed to talk about one, but it's all there. I don't care what color you are. You can be tattooed or not tattooed. But anyway, signs like that people put in places. Like I said, that some people will do it to a point where, what are you doing there? Because there's community-oriented policing and all that stuff. And like I said, I'm not against it, because when I was younger, And it's not even targeting anybody of particular race. When I was younger, I was bullied by two types. I had friends, both black and white, and I was bullied by both black and white. You're in some other school, you're poorer, your family is poorer. The school and the principals don't give a fuck about you because they can already tell you don't pay enough of taxes. And yeah, and to be fair, you had people of other colors too if you're newer in the school. If you're not in with this crowd, but yeah, like I said, from when you're kids, you have you experience heckling out in the street outside of the school. Then you're older, whether you were a dude, a chick, black or white, you be in some different place somewhere. You're walking through somewhere waiting for a bus. It's like, but then with COVID, it's all different now. I was watching this video. I was speaking my mind on making like 2-page long comments. Canada, what they were doing over COVID, that pissed me off or whatever. Somebody's kid crying and they're manhandling, damn Canadian police are manhandling this woman and all that, throwing her in a van, pretty looking on the verge of violently, and the kid's all crying over what? Going outside in public to exercise or whatever. But at least in this town I moved into, we don't have that problem. You wear a mask and go into business, you have way open parks. You get a few people that are wearing masks, like in an open area like this. Like, what the fuck you need a mask for? But if that floats their boat, or if they're near a lot of the businesses, they're doing multiple errands. They're in their cars, look stupid, and they're looking at you like you're nuts. You're not wearing a mask, but there's a lot of other people wearing it. And you wonder if Joe Biden gets in the presidency, even with stupid, even though the vaccines are on the way, if he's going to try to use the presidency to make a name for himself, like, oh, there's still danger of COVID, everybody needs to wear a mask in public, get the police out there and harass you, stop you on the street, and then if you walk away from them not wearing a mask, they fine you, and you be smart. They'll manhandle you in front of your kids and have you thrown in a cage. And then there's the line of the anti-police groups now with the BLM and the extremists. Both black people and white people are on that side. And then you get the people that worship the police and say, oh, if it's over COVID, and you criticize the police on the online, there'll be pro-police people. Oh, you know what? You're just some asshole that must have did something wrong. And meanwhile, like, I saw a video about the president of the car going by making noise. The president of the Future of Freedom Foundation said, in a lot of cases, he says that cops, in a lot of cases, don't feel like they have to follow the law. They can just walk right in and do whatever they want because they got the guns. And he said that a lot of places, cops act effectively as thugs. They just like make a name for themselves all in a day's work and get away with it. But then the other side, true, is no fucking better. If you get these people that hate the police, right? Get these fuckers that hate the police, right? But they're walking in these mobs, going beyond protesting and going in places that had nothing to do with it. It's not protesting, it's like flexing power, it's like group intimidation, and it should be discouraged. And there's somebody else to say it, telling people who can and can't be in groups. So, well, you're damned either way. I mean, you're trying to, and they say, anything you try to say, well, this side did this, they're wrong, and this side did this, they're wrong, and stuff that can be done better, you're told by the extreme police-hating side that, you're not allowed to be neutral, you're violent, if you're not with us, if you're not absolutely fight on our side, then you're part of the oppressors. Just like I saw on, like, the Twitter channel of, like, Chanel West Coast. I liked the MTV show Ridiculousness for a while. I loved the show, but on her Instagram account, putting that real big. Yeah, well, of course, she's in California. and the people that make her career, you know, not that I'm hating and all that, but yeah, I can't stand these people that are fucking over George Floyd, the people that did all this they went way too far. People had a right to stand in groups and just stand there, whether it's with their guns or in crowds or whatever. They're going in there in buses to some of them to do damage. It was being done. Over what? Somebody did, even though they did their time for it, they did time for pointing a gun at a pregnant woman in a home invasion, and now everybody's celebrating and doing a eulogy and putting his picture up like he's like they're canonizing him like some new fucking religion or something. But then somebody on the other side kills somebody, and like I said, all races have serial killers and robbers, things they did. And oh yeah, you're allowed to ignore this one that was shot by somebody, but you're not allowed to say this, you know. Yeah, double standards here. So what do you do when you see right through the protest mobs and what they're doing, what you're expected to be told what to believe and not to believe, and you're not on the complete side of the police either, but yet you believe in the idea, well, there's stuff you shouldn't be doing anyway, you know what I'm saying? And it's like reasonable things that nobody should be acting, you know what I mean? Like I said before, you know, in the town I was in, there was somebody, probably because they were jealous, I was making a name for myself in charities, and I was known all year round for it because I go in the businesses and I'm known. Cars making noise. Anyway, I was like, so I got stopped and harassed by cops one time, threatening violence, threatening to knock my effing ass out. Somebody, they didn't say who, but somebody said, oh, I was, quote, roaming the streets drunk. I was on my way to the store. And I had friends, both black and white, that I told about it too, and I went all over the internet and all that too. And but does that mean that I'm required or obligated to be on the side of the BLM religion gang? Fuck no. I much rather, you know, look at all the black people on YouTube who are against all that stuff or critical of that stuff. Yeah, some stupid ass person on GMA, Good Morning America, telling people how to not be racist. You gotta buy their silly books. Very condescending, saying that you're not the rest of the people, the common people that live their own lives, minding their own business. Saying you're not racist enough. You gotta buy our books. You gotta donate to our organization, religion. Fuck you. All right, and then oh no, here's how I prove I'm not racist. I subscribe to some of the black YouTubers that are being banned because they're speaking against the all white people are racist narrative. But anyway, yeah, this is like a video just discreetly, just randomly talking about what just like not even giving it a particular title, because then the algorithms can't ban it, but to send to particular people. But anyway, like I said, I was part of a charity. I had haters, both black and white. In a town I used to be in, hey, you do something too well in something, you're automatically on crack, you know, and everything else too. So in what you do, and whether they're in a workplace, you have friends and bosses that are black that like what you're doing, and you're kind of and then it counters the haters, and you can discreetly laugh in their face. That's what it's all about, you know what I mean? Because, yeah, everybody got to kind of watch their ass a little bit. To join any particular side, not a good idea. If you're black or white, you just worry about your own family, your own friends, and the hell with everybody else, because Especially during a pandemic, when stuff is going on, the last thing you want to be is in crowds, but that's another story.